Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to the top 10 stories or moments of 2024. I'm going to give to you the top 10 moments or stories of 2024 that I feel encapsulated this year. Um, there's a lot of things on here that you probably already know, and maybe you either don't want to go over, or you don't want to, or you do want to relive in your moments and like that. So we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and talk about it. We'll start with number 10. Number 10. Twitter exodus over the blue sky. Many people, after the 2024 election, decided to dump Twitter and move over to blue sky, and it's continued to grow. It's still today. They grew from a small amount of people using blue sky to over 20 to 30 million within days. Why, some people may ask, well, Twitter is just not fun anymore. It's First off, it's run by Elon Musk, who has completely ruined Twitter in many people's eyes. Um, you know, it's not fun now because it's become more of a cesspool. Some people would say, where it's just a place where people go just to be hateful, like this. And and also it's a place where it's seemingly you're not allowed to tell the truth anymore. You have to tell you. It's a Republican platform, basically. That's called what it is. It's a platform to spew the Republican garbage, and many of the Democrats do not want Republican garbage. They want, you know, you know, you know, they want the truth, and so they've gone over to blue sky, and it's growing, and it's continued to grow. I was over there at blue sky. Whew, when did I join? I joined maybe sometime last year, maybe. I can't remember exactly when I joined, but I did join. I had it just in case, you know, when just in case Twitter was, going to die or whatever. And listen, Twitter's not going to die. I still go over there. It's, still has a thing. You still can talk about sports and all the other things that you can do without being reasonably, you know, you know, inundated with all of the other stuff that you don't want to be inundated with. Um, but this was a tremendous story, and it was deserving to be on this list. The fact that Blue Sky really became one of the, biggest focuses in this final part of this year because of the election, and it is it's truly awesome. And I think the people of Blue Sky, they are accepting it. They are enjoying it. They are trying to make it as better as best as they can make it. They're trying to make it so that it has that feeling of Twitter when it first started, and then the feeling that you get now from Twitter. So all good in the hood. And so yeah, number 10, the Twitter's exodus to blue sky. Number 9, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight. This was supposed to happen like early in the summer, like around July or something like that. But Mike Tyson had a health scare, so they had to push it back to November. But many people were excited to see this. Jake Paul has been someone who's been doing this boxing thing for a little while now, and he has been um, he has done pretty well, in his fights. I think he's only lost one fight. But also, some people say that these fights have also been, he's also fought people that that he shouldn't be fighting. He's fought Nate Robinson. He's fought um, uh, guys who were ex MMA guys, and other guys that you would think that that he would beat or wanted to beat. Many people see this as what his brother does, Logan Paul, is wrestling, and that this is always like this scripted stuff. And there's a lot of things about this fight. There were rumors that there were things in the contract where Mike couldn't knock him out, Mike couldn't hit him in the face, I think, or in the body or something like that. One of the two. So a lot of strange things. But people were still excited for this. They were, looking to, looking for Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson would beat Jake Paul for, whatever the reasons that they may dislike Jake Paul. And there are many of them from his antics on Twitter, from through the election, through from going all the way back to his younger days when he was on Vine and doing all of the stupid things that he did to get to get famous, things like that. So a lot of people hated it. They probably rooting for Mike Tyson to win, but some people couldn't even watch it because it was buffering. This was like they put on an event and it was like, I think, what did they say? 60 some odd million people were watching it, and it was buffering, and they just couldn't take it, and it was ridiculous. But when you finally did get to watch it, and what you saw was obviously Mike Tyson, a 58-year-old man who just he just should have been in the ring with someone who's half his age, and Jake Paul, 27, and it was just not, But Mike made $20 million from it, I believe, so good for him. Although recently came out noted that he doesn't even remember most of the fight and why he did the fight. So that's troubling. So, but you can't have to say that this had the people, very intrigued, and I think that makes it good enough to be the number 9 story of 2024. Number 8, did Deadpool and Wolverine save the Marvel Universe? Who knows the tale? Besides, I did a podcast about that. You can check that out. I may even put that up on the thing if I remember in the corner. But yeah, the second highest grossing movie this year, Deadpool and Wolverine, was a complete success. And for those who have been looking down on Marvel as of late, thinking that some of the movies that they had put out were not that great, for whatever reason they may feel about it, whether it's just the stories were bad, the acting was bad, whatever, or even those knuckleheads who think that the movies were too woke. From what I remember, there were very few bad reviews about Deadpool and Wolverine. This seemed to be a critical success, and obviously being the second highest grossing movie this year with $1,338,073,645 dollars grossed. It's amazing, and it's given some of those people some hope that whatever was giving the Marvel Universe, whatever was going on with Marvel, that maybe it's starting to turn around. Combine that with the announcement that Robert Downey Jr. will be playing Dr. Von Doom in Doomsday in Marvel's in the Avengers Doomsday movie set to hit screens in 2026, I believe. There's been some hope and some wondering about this. Very some very good trailers of Captain America 4 and the Thunderbolts that made me see that, again, that hope for people thinking that this was Marvel was on a downturn and now it's back on an uptick. For me personally, I have enjoyed most of all of the movies that I have seen. The only one that I go back to and really say that I probably wasn't best was the Eternals. I saw that when it came out on Disney Plus, and it just wasn't, you know, I don't know. Now, maybe maybe that's because it's a group of people that I'm not sure that I remember. Not remember. I'm not, but I've never heard of before, or anything like that. Or maybe this wasn't a great movie, so to speak. So, um, but yeah, but I've enjoyed all the Marvel movies. I fully admit that the Marvel movies that have come out of recent are not like the bangers that was coming out, you know, you know, in the past, where they say every Marvel movie seemed to be a banger. It was a 4 star, four and a half star movie, banger after banger after banger, as good old Sheamus would say from WWE. I fully admit that, but I still thought they were, decent enough films, you know. So, but this one was a killer one, and it was really enjoyable. And like I said, some people may think it may save the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, I'm not sure about that. I don't know if Marvel Cinematic Universe needs to be saving. But that being said, I think there are some changes that are going on, and hopefully the changes again are for the right reasons and not for the wrong reasons. And the wrong reasons would be because it's too woke. So the idiots, are unhappy that women are starring in movies and things like that. So, but being the second highest grossing movie of all time, and having people wondering if it's brought Marvel back into the world of good movies, makes it number 8 on the list of the top stories of 2024.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time? Oh, you gotta give it that hook to it. Spit on that thing. You get me?
That was the voice of Haley Welch, now known as Hawk Tour Girl. This was a viral moment in the summer of 2024 that it spanned the internet for weeks. We had all types of videos and TikToks about it and songs about her and everything like that. And she has now become a influencer. However, she has recently come into some controversy as she, for some reason, tried to scam everybody with the Bitcoin stuff. And just, I think right now everybody knows that Bitcoin is a scam. If it's a scam, and if you don't know, then I can't help you. I can't help you. I got a bridge I can sell you. Come on, it's ridiculous. Why are you even trying to do Bitcoin to begin with? But she's been in trouble with that for lately. But she's trying to extend her 15 minutes, and I can't blame her. She has like a podcast, and she's at merchandise and everything like that, and that's good for her. She's trying to become an influencer, and I don't think nobody should hate on her for that, because even though she did not ask for it, she was just there doing a interview with a YouTuber, um, but she was but that went everywhere. So, and I don't think you can blame her for that. It's probably not something that she wanted, um, something like that. But she's taken whatever she is, and she's used it up for good. So again, good for her. There's no hate here. from me or shit. I would hope that we no hate from anybody else as well. But you sure, for damn sure, know that she was a story of 2024, and the spin on that thing was a moment of 2024. That's why Hawk Tour Girl is number 7 of the stories and moments of 2024. Number 6, the Olympics. Paris hosted the 2024 Summer Olympics, which were, as always, were great. The United States dominating the competition, and there were some great stories throughout the entire Olympics. It's those 2 weeks are all, when the Olympics happen, whether it's the winter or summer, those 2 weeks are always a very fun time. As you know, we talk about some of the things that happen, the things that go down, and stories come out of it, and heroes arise, and everything like that. But there was one hero that arose that maybe didn't want to be a hero, and that's Reagan. She gained her infamy for being in the break dancing competition for Australia, and her moves were wild and insane and controversial. These stereotypes came out of the woodwork with her doing her break dancing. Her being a Caucasian woman, as you see on the screen, that is her on the screen. And she was a story coming out of the Olympics. One that she did not want to be. She didn't. I guess it's one of the things where, even though she wanted to go to the Olympics and do this, she didn't want the stuff that came afterwards. And maybe that's true because it's been more than just joking and having fun at her expense, which you could kind of say, hey, that's part of the deal. You have to maybe take that. You went out there with those, and did those moves and everything like that. That's how you have to maybe take that, with the good with the bad, as they would say, right? But I think she's legitimately getting hate for it because they now said that breakdancing would not be a part of the 2028 Olympics when it comes to Los Angeles. And I think maybe a lot of people are just, as they normally do nowadays, they send people hate. They talk about, they give her hate. They try to find every interesting thing about her so they can hate on her. So that, instead of just having the fun that they probably should have had with her for the first 2 or 3 days afterwards. But and she's now like, she said she's been depressed about it. I believe some of the things that she talked about. Anything that she's even trying to sue somebody. I think that would have been a rumor. So who knows? But whether it was Ray Gunn and her breakdancing, whether it was Simone Biles and the United States gymnastics team doing what they were doing, whether it was Steph Curry and the United States men's team just once again bringing home the gold in the Summer Olympics basketball. Whichever it was, the Olympics once again was a shining star of the sporting world in 2024, and a shining star in the world, period, making this a story, a top 10 story of 2024. So when summer came around in 2024, not only did that mean the Olympics were going to be a big story, but these little guys were going to be a story as well, as the cicadas were getting ready to come out of the ground for the years that they come out of. It's whatever. They come out of the ground and they start swarming and things like that. I don't know. I don't think they bite or they sting or anything like that, but they are just some nasty looking creatures, as you can see on the screen. They make that noise that you would hear, and they're up in the trees and they're making that noise that just it's. I remember when I was a little kid and I would sit outside and you would hear those things, you would hear those noises, and you was just like, what the hell is that noise? You know, and you could hear it, and it was these things. And they come out every so many odd years and tend to do their things, and then they go back and they die, and then they go back underground and things like that. So it's a strange phenomenon that was just unreal. But we had many stories about the cicadas and what they were doing, how they were hurting, how they were helping, whatever. Even had some ridiculous people, you know, put things, cooking them and eating them as crazy people would do. So yeah, but it was a big story this year. The cicadas coming out of the ground. Number 5, excuse me. The top 10 stories of 2024. Number 4, the Drake Kendrick Lamar beef. Yeah, this is a story. It's been a long time since we've had a rap beef that seems legitimate, you know, and it seemingly I'm not sure, but it seemingly started from just an innocuous comment made on a record where it was Drake and J. Cole and somebody else, and they talked about those being the greatest, and then I guess Kendrick Lamar took exception to that, and he started his stuff. And you know, but to me, this went way too far. It went way too far on several levels. And it's all on Kendrick Lamar's level. One, he first of all accused Drake of being a pedophile. So that was ridiculous. If you're gonna do that, you better have some fucking proof. You know, and I think there was something that came out there, something that, you know, there was a picture of Drake, a screenshot of maybe Drake sliding into a DM of a girl who was allegedly, you know, like 16 or anything like that. So who knows if that was a screenshot was true or anything like that. If any other things are true, who knows? But it was just ridiculous. And then the thing that really just, you know, tore me up, and the thing that I really was just like, well, fuck Kendrick Lamar, you know, was the whole, you know, not like us thing. Basically taking a shot at Drake because he's half black, half white, so he can't be like the people who are, you know, 100% black, you know, quote unquote. Well, guess what? I don't think nobody's 100% black. There are very few people 100% black. There's always someone back in your history where it's something. It's 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 the white, you know something like it's obviously that way. It just makes no sense. Very few are just, pure 100% black. Very few black people are that. And just because you have a black mother and a black father doesn't make you even more blacker than the person that's half black, half white. I can't stand that ridiculousness. I can't stand that fuckery that comes out of people's mouths sometimes. And everybody and some people may say, well, Kendrick Lamar won the battle. He won the rap battle. I don't give a shit. He's a piece of shit for even thinking, that Drake was not, can't be black enough. He's not black enough because he's half black and half white. Fuck off. Fuck off. I do not care. That being said, it captivated the world. It was always on Twitter. Many people on Twitter were so into the beefs, and things like that. When someone dropped a song, it immediately was trending. So there's no doubt that this was a story, and I guess good for them. Good for them. um, that they were able to do this. But I was really, I'm not into rap beefs to begin with. It's just ridiculous. I lived through the whole Pac and Biggie stuff and the No Limit Cash Money stuff, and I'm not big on rap beefs. You don't have to like anybody, but you shouldn't try to start doing that whole diss track stuff. So, but it's I would say this. The reason why this is so high on the list because the NFL said, well, Kendrick Lamar's so good, we've got to put him in the halftime show. So he's going to be the halftime show of the Super Bowl in New Orleans. When many people thought that it should have been Lil Wayne, who was from New Orleans. In my eyes, Lil Wayne, Kendrick Lamar, both not great choices. For halftime shows. If you're gonna represent New Orleans, you gotta go back old school with No Limit. Everybody like that. But okay, Kendrick Lamar may win some points with me if that's what he does. If he can bring out the No Limit Soldiers, for a couple of songs. But neither here nor there. Number 4 on the list of the top 10 stories of 2024. The Drake-Kendrick Lamar beef. Number 3. After winning the Democratic nomination, Joe Biden succeeds and gives over to Kamala Harris. What a story this was. Joe Biden had won the Democratic nomination. He was going to be the Democratic candidate on the ticket in November. But after a horrible showing at a debate in late June, I believe it was. In late June, many people in the Democratic community and Democratic leaders called for Joe Biden to pull out of the race and give over to Kamala Harris. And at first, Joe Biden was stoic. He said, "No, I'm staying in the race." But over July 4th weekend, I believe it was, he decided to pull out of the race, saying that it would be best for the Democrats, best for the country if he decided to only try to be a one-term president and to give over to Kamala Harris. And then Kamala Harris was endorsed by many people. She went on to win the Democratic nomination. At the convention, at the convention center in there, she had what most people would say a tremendous successful debate against Donald Trump. But unfortunately, she came up short when it came to the election. But this hadn't happened in years, where a president pulled out of the winning the nomination, then pulled out, and then had he had to have a live convention center. It hadn't happened since I think they said 1960. This is the 1960s. I believe it was Nixon when Nixon pulled out. I believe that is. I can't. Don't quote me on that. But I do know that it happened again in Chicago. The Democratic Convention Center was in Chicago this year, and whether it was the Democratic or the Republican Convention was in Chicago back then. Again, when it happened the first time. So it's unreal. You never see it happen. Once you win the nomination, you usually stay the nominee. But many felt that because of that poor showing in the debate, it was too much of a risk to try to have Joe Biden stay in his race and even do another debate with Donald Trump or anything like that. So yeah, a shocking moment, a shocking thing that happened this year in politics. It's number 3. Joe Biden winning the nomination and then turning down the nomination to give it to Kamala Harris. Caitlin Clark is number 2. She is the Time Athlete of the Year, as she should be. She captivated the sports world. As for the second consecutive year, she took her Iowa Hawkeyes to the national championship game. She done it in back-to-back years. Did it last year, did it this year. Unfortunately, losing both times. Last year she lost to LSU. This year she lost to South Carolina. But then being drafted to the Indiana Fever and just being the star that they needed. They needed her. And I don't think a lot of people in the WWE understand that. This was about her. This is not about anybody else. This is not about Angel Reese. This is not about Camila Cardoso. This is not about the girl in Los Angeles who unfortunately tore her ACL. All of them great players in their own life, right? And they and probably going to be stars in the future. But this was about Caitlin Clark, who captivated. She's the reason why college basketball, women's college basketball, had great ratings over the past 2 years. She's the reason why the WNBA had their highest ratings of all time this year. The most attended games all time was because of Caitlin Clark and nobody else. But nobody else really wanted to say that. Why? Because this is a white woman in a black woman's sport. That's really what it is. We've heard of things. Cheryl Swoops wouldn't give her credit. The girls on ESPN, Sinead Kumlike, and the Monica McNutt, wouldn't give her the credit. And when she was getting beat up by the thugs, Kennedy Carter and Angel Reese and other thugs alike, they were saying, well, no, it's just being hard physical basketball. Not when you're hitting them in the head, legitimately with elbows. That's never been hard physical basketball. Giving her a hard fall is one thing. Setting a hard pick on her is one thing. Running up to her and body checking her to the floor, throwing her on the ground, giving her elbows. That's not hard physical basketball. That's thuggery. Let's call it what it is. And why were they doing it with her? Because she's the great white hope. And even still, recently somebody came out and said that it wasn't just all Caitlin Clark, some owner or a coach from the Washington Mystics or someone like that. You are trying to decline. You're trying to degrade, or whatever the word is. This woman's power and ability to draw you ratings and draw you money. She's the great white hope. Let her be it then. And guess what? She was, she had times had struggles, but once they took that little break for the Olympics, they took a little break, which is a whole nother thing. Should she had been on the Olympic team or not? Who knows? I would have put her on there just because I think she would have deserved it. She's one of the 12 best American women players, but they didn't put her on her. That's fine. When they came back from the Olympic break, she had gotten better, as it normally do when you're a rookie. You get you get better throughout as you go and as you play more and get better. team into the playoffs. Amazing. I know recently there's been some scuttlebutt against some of the people on the side of the right were upset that she came out and that she had talked about, the black women who had came before her and how, the black women were, they deserve the credit of making the NBA. The NBA was built on their backs. And while I don't have a problem. I really don't have a problem with this. I don't, because I think she's right. I think she's right. I think she's right. Yes, because it was built on black women. One of the women that hate her, Cheryl Swoops, her and the Houston Comets, they were the first 4 champions of the WNBA, I believe. And she comes to her, and yes, there were black women there, and it's totally fine to understand that, and to give her that. But also, I think that you got to give her her props because she is truly amazing. And I think that for me, most importantly, understand that again, no one else, not Angel Reese, again, especially not her. Not Angel Reese, not anyone else. Not even, the NBA MVP, Asha Wilson, the girls over in the Liberty who won the championship, Sabrina Ionescu and Breanna Stewart. Those girls, none of them were the reason why the WNBA had their best year. It was one woman. And it's that woman right there. It's Caitlin Clark. And that's why she's the number 2 story of 2024. And of course, the number 1 story of 2024, Donald Trump winning the 2024 election, making him the second, becoming the second president to be a 2-term president non-consecutively. The first one, I believe, was James Garfield. But he becomes the second president to do that. There were, and this comes in a year where he was found guilty of felonies, 30 plus felonies, and he was voted, to be the president of the United States of America. And understand this. This was not. I'm not talking about that from the electoral college. He didn't win like where Kamala Harris won the popular vote and he won. But he won through the electoral college. No. He won the presidency not only in the electoral college, but he won the popular vote. And that tells you where we're at in this country. Not to get too in the weeds about it, because I'm just doing the stories here, but it kind of makes you think that where we at in the country where we would vote for a felon to be president of the United States of America. I mean, really? Was the last 4 years really that bad? I don't think so. I don't think they were that bad. So it's an eye-opening thing, and it's also a very shameful thing, because we as people should be better than this. So maybe you haven't liked what's happened in the past 4 years. mean to tell me that you can't wait another 4 years when another person who's not a felon would be on the ticket that you could vote for? You think that that's really going to be bad? That bad? Damn. Damn, damn, damn. Well, he is our president. We'll have to see what he does. Hopefully, there is no other pandemic and we don't lose another 70 plus million like we did during COVID. But him winning the presidency after being guilty for 34, being found guilty on 30 plus felonies, which might go away because I think they're trying to do something, in the negotiations about that. That's a strange thing, but all that stuff is going to go away. So it makes no difference, without question. Number one story of 2024 is Donald Trump winning the presidential election of 2024. Alright guys, there you have it. The top 10 stories, moments of 2024. Post your comments down below to me what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think of these moments. Think about do you agree with me? Are there any moments that I missed that you feel would deserve to be a top 10 moment? Put it down in the comment section. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, when I do these recap videos, review videos of the year, we always go back and we honor those that we lost. Celebrities, athletes, potential political figures, anybody notable to this world. We honor them with our in memoriam segment. For one last time, we want all of these people to rest in peace.